Our daughter Emily made it clear to us a long time ago that she wanted to live independently from us. And so she lived in the Imagine Charles Family Smart Home for about 9 years. And the group home setting was really wonderful for her, and we loved it. It was staffed 24 hours a day, and she lived with 5 other wonderful human beings that she loved spending time with and getting out in the community with everyone and just living life. To say that we were heartbroken when the house had to close was an understatement. When the group home closed and we weren't sure what was going to be next for Emily, we felt so fortunate because one of the people who has worked with Emily for years, and they are truly friends, stepped up to say that she would like to become Emily's care provider. And we felt like the relationship between Emily and whoever her care provider is was really a make or break. I mean, isn't that true with all of us? We want to live with people that we enjoy their company. So Tess said she wanted to do this, and we both knew that Imagine owned some homes that they use for host home model. They call it the companion model. The difference between the host home model and the companion home model is that the host home model, the provider finds their own housing and brings in the client to live with them. The companion model is a home that's owned by Imagine, and that meant a lot to my husband and me because it meant that Imagine had significant skin in the game. It meant that they invested in this home and they wanted for the long haul for people to be able to live there with care providers. And so we really felt fortunate that Emily was able to move into this home with Tess and her boyfriend, who has since become her husband, and also with another client. And then just a month ago, because this house has plenty of room, a third client was able to move in. And Emily lives with 2 people that she lived with in the group home for 10 years. So in many ways, things are very familiar to her still, but at the same time, the changes that we've seen that have happened as a result of her leaving the group home and moving into the companion home is that in many ways her world has actually expanded. So when she was in the group home, it was a wonderful situation, and I am a huge believer that this community needs group homes for people with intellectual and physical disabilities. I don't want to make any mistake about that. I'm a very strong advocate for group homes. At the same time, they come with a lot of regulations and requirements that make staffing very challenging and funding also a challenge. In the companion home model or the host home model, this is a family situation. If they want to go out to dinner on a Wednesday night, they go out to dinner on a Wednesday night. They manage all of the care for Emily and her roommates, her housemates, and yet they've created this wonderful family environment, and we see them as an extension of our family. When Emily lived in the group home, she got to go to day program and take outings and things like that. But it was kind of on a stricter schedule because it was a staffed situation. Now that she's in a companion home, they really can go and do whatever. And not only can Emily do things with her care provider, but she has relationships with people who've worked in day program before, who've worked in the smart home, and she's maintained those relationships. And they come and they take her on outings, they go do things, they go out to eat, they go to the zoo, and they also provide respite for Emily's caregiver because everybody needs some breathing room for themselves. And so what I've witnessed is this lovely little community that has been built around this companion home. One of the things that we loved when Emily lived in the Imagine group home is that it was built to be accessible for wheelchair users, and Emily's a wheelchair user. So when we were looking at options for her next home situation, that was really important to us, that she could be in a home that was accessible. And that was very appealing when we learned that this Imagine-owned companion home was available, because Imagine had put in the resources to make sure that the doorways were wide, that she could roll into the home easily, that she could navigate around the house, helping with chores, cleaning up the kitchen, helping to cook, doing all of the things that allow her to live the most independent life possible. And we really felt like we hit the jackpot between her provider and this home. And we continue to feel like it is such an amazing situation because this family has been created, and our hope is that it lasts for a very long time. When I get the opportunity to talk to other parents who are thinking about a host home option for their loved one, I really hit on the fact that the provider-client relationship is going to be key. And what that provider brings to the table in terms of how he or she can help the client live independently and follow their life dreams while being part of their family is really important. That connection that they can create is something that I always encourage parents to sort of step back and watch that unfold when they're meeting each other for the first time. Try to see, is this something that can be fostered and nurtured and grown over time? Because no one wants to go into this situation and have it only last a few months. That is brutal for everyone involved. You're looking for a provider match with your loved one that's going to last for hopefully years and years. And I know a lot of providers and a lot of clients who have lived in the same home for, in some cases, decades. And that's our hope. And I think that's the hope of the other parents that I get to talk to.